While the cheerful blonde lady stretches and gets ready for her day, the news in the background reports that it is the 10th anniversary of the painful accident that happened. The television shows a large, unidentified object having demolished what appears to be a skyscraper. It also announces that a new tower, Enkuboku, is being built as a symbol of peace and remembrance of that event. A call comes in, and after that, she leaves like a bolt of lightning. She thinks these are the Lycoris agents who manufacture the peace Tokyo citizens enjoy. Meanwhile, Micah, a man with a sniper rifle, is targeting Alpha 1. Micah tells the correspondent that a Lycoris, Erica, is in danger. A Lycoris fires the large machine gun at the gun dealers, holding Erica hostage. Chisato, watching from a building over, cheers. Fuki assumes Takina wants to kill Erica and continues to punch Takina in the face. Then Chisato communicates with Micah through her cell phone and tells Chisato to leave the area immediately. Takina is ordered to be transferred from DA headquarters to a coffee shop because she had ignored the order and made the operation fail. She is being told one other Lycoris is stationed at the coffee shop. The black-haired Lycoris introduces herself as Takina Inoue. Inoue then assumes the girl with glasses is Chisato before being corrected and told the woman with glasses is named Mizuki. Chisato comes, introduces herself, and is fascinated by her new partner. The coffee shop is revealed to be called Lycoris. Chisato and Inoue leave Lycoris to begin working. While walking, Inoue asks why Chisato is no longer with the DA, and Chisato responds that she is their problem child. Inoue then says she heard that Chisato broke the tower, then says that Chisato was defending the city from terrorists when it happened, and that it was not her fault to begin with. Back at Lycoris, Micah is discussing with a Kusunoki over the phone about missing guns. Then it is revealed that they cannot get info from the dealer about the pistols because Inoue fired them from the machine gun and they all died. Then the lady says it is a hacker called Walnut, a famous wizard of the dark web. Kusunoki orders to find the hacker and kill him. Meanwhile, Chisato and Takina are going to school. Next up, they both head up to Kodagomi. Chisato gives what the boss orders. Takino tried to use her gun, thinking it was an illegal item, but it turned out to be coffee powder. They are heading to the police station next, but it's too early, so they rest at the playground nearby. Inoue is confused by the smaller tasks they are doing and how it relates to being a Lycoris, and Chisato explains that the division she was assigned to exists to help those who need it, even if it means delivering coffee and tutoring at a school or even being hitmen when necessary. Next, they are both directed to Oshiaji Police Station. Chisato introduces Inoue to Abe, a member of the local police department. Abe then asks the girls for assistance with a case of a stalker. Abe says they can get paid for the job, and Chisato gleefully agrees. Inoue, although deciding to go along, is more concerned about whether the DA will assess this particular job. Later on, they both head to a cafe to meet with Saori Shinohara. Saori says that she uploaded a photo to social media, and since then, she's always been getting threatening comments and is stalked. So she deletes the post. She also states that she took the picture with the building, which exploded after 3 hours of taking the picture. Takina zooms in on the image and sees the exact building of the gun deal. Chisato asks to copy the photo from Saori. Then they move out of the cafe. Chisato says they should stick together for the night, and they both agree to have a pajama party at Saori's place. Takina keeps Miss Saori safe while Chisato heads back to the cafe Lycoris to get ready for the party. On the way to the stalked girl's house, Inoue realizes a van is following them. Inoue then tells Saori to go without her, while Inoue ducks into an alley. The terrorists then kidnap Saori and take her phone to delete the exact picture where the gun deal is seen. When the terrorist wants to move, Takina appears before them and shoots the van driver. While shooting at the van, Inoue begins to shout at them, telling them to tell her where all the guns went. Chisato finds her and pulls her aside, asking her what's she doing. She takes them down quickly without a struggle, a surprising change from her cheery demeanor. Then, Chisato instructs Takina to shoot at the spy drone nearby with a silencer if she is confident with her shooting skills. Takina then shoots the spy drone, and her gunshot is on target, breaking the drone. Chisato then asks the terrorists if they wanted to make a deal. She slammed the door and shot it to stun the terrorist while not harming them. Takina sees how Chisato deals with the terrorist and is impressed with her. After she settles down with the terrorists, she tells Takina to get sorry while she gives the terrorists emergency treatment. Walnut then says he does not think they recognize the spy drone. Yoshimatsu is satisfied with Walnut's successful hack into DA and rewards him. They continue talking until Yoshimatsu explodes Walnut's house. Returning to Lycoris, Mizuki lamented the stalked girl and her lover's selfie, blaming her love for getting her caught up in this mess. Then Micah asks where it happened, and Chisato zooms in on the picture, revealing the gun deal. Inoue comes out in her new uniform for the cafe, and the entire staff takes a photo together and uploads it on social media named @Lyco_Rico. Yoshimatsu shows up in the shop. Micah seems to be the only one who recognizes him. A quick rundown on the Allen Institute, saying it is unknown if the Allen Institute is truly a group or one person, searches for geniuses in poverty and other circumstances, and offers them free assistance in exchange for their services. Returning to the cafe Lycoris, Mizuki receives a message from Walnut. At Crisato's apartment, where she is sleeping on her couch, she gets up late and rushes to work. When Chisato arrives at Lycoris, she greets Mr. Yoshi. She remembers Yoshimatsu was their first ever customer. Takina removes the medical dressing from her face and moves out of the room while Yoshimatsu leaves the Lycoris cafe. Meanwhile, Chisato begins to load bullets into the magazine of her pistol. Micah tells her that a group of armed assailants is chasing the target. While doing this, Chisato mentions a bag of goodies she brought for Inoue, the recruit, who ignores them. According to Micah, Mizuki has already secured the getaway route. The two girls leave the cafe. While they have lunch, Takina runs Chisato down on more mission details as they ride a train to their designated location. Chisato has a boiled egg and feeds Takina as she is just drinking the jelly drink. At the DA, Kusunoki is told Walnut is dead, according to rumors on the dark web. Kusunoki's assistant, however, reminds her that Walnut has been reported dead multiple times before, only to find out he's still alive. The assistant also brings forth the photo analysis of the photo Chisato sent to herself from the client's phone. Inoue, exasperated, reminds her superior about a car that will be left for them in the parking lot of their destination. Chisato sees a supercar and is so excited to drive. Meanwhile, they are picked up by a small white car, driven by someone in a costume similar to the rabbit squirrel. The man in the costume also claims to be Walnut to protect his identity. While Walnut drives them to another location, they engage in small talk. Chisato reveals that Lycoris's dress in schoolgirl-like uniforms to seem the least alarming in Japan. When Takina asks about the yellow suitcase in the front passenger seat, Walnut says it contains his entire life's belongings. Chisato gets jealous about getting a passport and traveling overseas, but reveals that since Lycorises don't have family registry entries, as Lycoris is an orphan, they cannot get passports and therefore cannot travel. Takina requests Walnut to head to the location. Meanwhile, Robata calls his robbers to kill them. Back in Walnut's car, the car is hacked and is being controlled by an external force. Walnut says this is the work of Robota and theorizes they're being driven straight into the ocean. Meanwhile, Chisato notices a drone is following the car and shoots the car window out, and Inoue leans out of the window to shoot at the drone as they are driven off the road, hitting it repeatedly and killing Robota's feed. The car stops inches away from being launched into the water, the two left tires hanging over the edge of a concrete platform. The white van watches as the three get out before the car tips into the water. After the crew changes locations to an abandoned building, effectively hiding from Robota's grunts in the white van, it is revealed that Robota found them through a drone and rerouted their grunts in the right direction. When they reach the abandoned building, a shootout begins. Chisato narrowly dodges all the bullets from one of the grunt's machine guns in a logic-defying move, and then hits him multiple times with her pistol, emotionless. However, Chisato offers to tend to the wounds of the other man who is about to die. When the grunt is initially resistant to first aid, Chisato threatens him with her pistol until he accepts it. It is revealed that Chisato shot them with rubber bullets. Although it left wounds, it was not enough to kill anyone she shot. The grunt, healed by Chisato, warns her that their boss is watching them. When Chisato runs to warn Inoue not to go outside, Walnut steps out. He is then shot over and over by multiple automatic weapons. Inoue calls Micah and says to gather Walnut's dead body and grab the luggage that Walnut brought with him. Meanwhile, Mr. Yoshi is communicating with Robota, saying that the death of Walnut has ended his requests from last month. He also mentions that he will ask for Robota's services in the future. They are traveling in the ambulance with Walnut's dead body and his luggage. The assumed to be dead Walnut rises and pops off their mask, revealing herself as Mizuki. It is shown that the real Walnut was using a communication device in the mask to speak to the girls without being there in person, while Mizuki piloted a bulletproof costume with fake blood to make the death seem more realistic. They all return to Lycoris, where Walnut has now holed up in the closet. Mr. Yoshi returns to the cafe again and engages in banter with Micah at the front counter. Chisato asks Walnut to find the person in the image they received from the client. While Walnut searches, she reveals her name is Kurumi, the Japanese word for walnut. Inoue is washing her face solemnly. Chisato asks Takina to open the cafe Lycoris in the morning. Kurumi analyzes a picture from Sorry to identify the assassin, surpassing what Mizuki says the DA was able to make out of it. Chisato is announcing the after-hours board game night. Kurumi joins in with the regulars. However, when Inoue is invited to play along, she rejects their invitations. Micah finds Inoue returning to her quarters. However, she rebuffs his attempt to communicate, as well as Chisato's attempts to get Inoue to join in on the fun. Just outside Inoue's door, Micah asks Chisato if she will take her physical fitness exam tomorrow if it's the last day. Inoue jumps into the conversation when Micah says the commander will be there and asks if she can come along with Chisato. On the train, Takino thinks about what to talk to the commander about. Chisato gives candy to Takina, but she refuses. When they arrive, they are scanned in to confirm their identities, and immediately Chisato signs in for the test. Before the receptionist can ask Inoue why she's there, Inoue interrupts and asks to see Commander Kusunoki. The receptionist tells Inoue that the commander is in a meeting and is unavailable now. Some girls begin to whisper behind Inoue's back, claiming she is the friend killer. Inoue says she will wait until Commander Kusunoki is out of the meeting and he will speak with her, shaking off what she's heard. In the locker room, where Chisato is changing before her physical exam, she engages in familiar banter with Fuki. Meanwhile, Inoue is practicing with a pistol in an indoor shooting range while she waits for the commander. At a treadmill, Chisato discusses how she doesn't understand why Inoue would want to return and says she does appreciate being raised by the DA, however, she also enjoys her freedom. The girls continue similar banter as Chisato passes the exam without breaking a sweat, and Fuki becomes more and more exhausted, as well as frustrated with how seemingly lazy Chisato continues to get perfect and above average marks. Commander Fusonoki approaches the girls as they are resting on a bench. The commander states that Chisato doesn't fulfill her duties as a Lycoris and asks why she would want to keep her DA license. Chisato reminds her that she still works for the DA, even if on a different scale than before. Chisato then abruptly asks why the commander let go of Inoue. Commander Fusonoki begins to explain, only to be interrupted by Chisato defending her friend Inoue. When the commander further blames Inoue for being the reason they lost out on the weapons deal, Chisato proves that the DA had the wrong time, and therefore the loss was not Inoue's fault. After back and forth squabbling, the commander deflects the question and leaves. Returning to Inoue's target practice, another Lycoris introduces herself to Inoue as Sakura Atomi. Sakura grasps her hand tightly to keep her from stepping away and inquires about the rumors surrounding how Inoue was kicked out of the DA. After mocking her and ignoring Inoue's attempts to state the truth, Sakura announces herself as Inoue's successor. Just as Sakura is bullying Inoue, Chisato pulls her away. Commander Fusonoki walks in after this, and Inoue immediately tries to clear her name to the commander. Commander Fusonoki shuts down her attempts to get back at DA. Fuki then states that there is no more use for Inoue at the DA. Inoue runs away to a quiet place, only to be found by Chisato moments later. Inoue reminisced about her dreams when she was a young Lycoris, and Chisato comforts her. Chisato tells Inoue about the night Inoue rebelled, explaining her theory behind the radio interference not being mere technical issues, but a hack. Chisato further explains that the DA will never admit a flaw in their technology or themselves, so there's no point in fighting it. Inoue tries to run away, but Chisato hugs her distressed friend, telling her gently that it may be time to move on from the DA's grasp. Meanwhile, another Lycoris tells Erika about the mock fight between Fuki, Sakura, Chisato, and Inoue, but Erika is upset and blames herself for why Inoue was fired. However, Erika rushes to watch. The mock fight begins without Inoue, as she is still sulking, and the remaining competitors start to shoot each other with paintball guns. Chisato is holding back in hopes that Inoue will return to prove herself. Inoue eventually returns just as Chisato hits Sakura, eliminating her from the game and leaving Inoue to take down Fuki. Chisato tells Inoue she did pretty well, and Commander Fusonoki and her assistant discuss Chisato's superhuman ability to dodge anything projected at her. Inoue is engaging with Fuki, whose face is swollen. Fuki calls her useless as a Lycoris, although Inoue is not bothered. Erika is back to sulking in her room, unsure what she should say to Inoue if she saw her again. Thanks for watching my anime recap. If you liked it, subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. Leave a comment and let me know what you thought of the recap. I hope to see you all in part 2 of the series.